Hey folks, imagine this. In this city anything can happen, and the old man fall in love with his maid. However, what he didn't know was that his hearth wouldn't get, because this is 1998 movie A Summer Lagourle, and by the name, you already understand that questionable quality. So subscribe to grow with us because I am narrating now. So let's recap. I'll start in a big city and some young people start walking up early because it's Saturday and they want to make the most of it. As they walk around the city, they begin to spy on their neighbors. There is a very rich old man who owns several residences, and now we'll see that this movie is like Brazil, because in the square in front of the beach there are a lot of old folks playing cards, and there is this crazy guy on the radio saying that the world is about to end, but no one pays attention to him. On the other side of the city, there are some guys on the corner who always keep an eye in the young woman passing by, but they never get anywhere. There's a clothes store there, and some women are preparing a wedding dress, because in that place, when someone gets married, everyone celebrates. They start to discuss why they shouldn't get married as virgin, and to avoid anyone finding out if something happened, they like to use the back door, and they all start laughing. Since the warden are looking for a husband, they go to the city church and bring a candle, pray to the saints to find a rich, handsome and a young husband, because they were saving themselves for them. And this, we see that this is really Brazil of the West, because everyone is lost. In the background, there is still the neighborhood gossip, as they are hearing back home. There is a very handsome guy, and they start looking at him with wicked intentions. We can see some people on the beach, and those guys should go where the women are, because they can miss an opportunity. A young woman starts staring at the guy, so the match was a must complete. The owner of the house would always drop by to check on his tenants, but before collecting the rent, he wouldn't take the opportunity to have a dinner or lunch, and maybe even give a discount, because everyone living there was poor. At the dinner table, everyone had to choose their road careful, because he was a very arrogant old man. When he asked to use the bathroom, the woman told him it was in the usual place, which irritated him because with so many houses and he couldn't remember. He is where the twist comes in, because when he goes to the bathroom, he overhears someone inside, and coincidentally, one of those young women who prayed for a rich husband was there, and the old man almost had a heart attack, and when he returns, he says he needs to go home because he's very tired. Either the guy has a weak bladder or that woman is extraordinary, because he saw something that almost made him faint. In the next day, that young woman says she's going out with her friend to the beach, because in this place nobody works or studies. Her father tells her she needs to work, and he works at the city train station. As a government employee, he is highly respected and well known, but in his free time, he stopped to by to the bar to have a drink with his friend and make fun of the wilder countries. The place was already overcrowded because there were many refugees heading to France, and after talking nonsense for a while, he goes to his second job, which is drink on the boat with his friend. So he is a true government worker. The night in the city is very lively, with several shops and bars open, and everyone goes out to enjoy themselves, while some women keeping the eye on younger men, some younger men keeping the eye on the young woman. In this group there was always the unloved one that one paid attention to. too, and she became jealous because nobody wanted anything to do with her. The rich old man was still keeping the eye on the young woman from that unforgettable moment. Some guys discovered a nearby guest house that was full of holes in the walls, think they couldn't find something interesting to watch. However, they realized that his was a crazy guest house they had ever seen. In the one hole, there was a lady telling stories, in another, a woman has a singing opera, and the third, a guy was a make paper dolls. So that night, there was nothing good to find, and they moved on to the front of the cinema because a movie session was ending, and there are always many young women come out. But once again, they are ignored. The rich old man was at home doing the math and realized he was out of money, with many people owing him. One of these families was the one with the young woman he couldn't get out of his mind. Meanwhile, the one lovely woman only wanted to get married, but no one wanted her because in that place, the groom's father had to give money to the bridge for the ceremony to happen, and as things was tough, he wouldn't need to sell some house. The next day, everyone started preparing because the big wedding was approaching, and everyone was excited. The women got ready because if they caught the bouquet, it means they would get married. Three elegant young men get courage to this time and politely invite the young women to wedding, and this time they accept. To make the city atmosphere even better, a famous singer who was touring Europe arrived. The wedding night begins, and the old man ecstatic that his son is getting married to a normal young woman, especially since he's not handsome. To celebrate, the British father managed to get an international singer to perform in the wedding. So far, I don't know who this woman is, so leave a like in the video and subscribe, because if the old man hasn't died yet, it means there is more to the story. Everyone starts singing and dance to live up the place, but some women who still haven't snagged a rich, handsome and the young husband have give up and start flirting with the rich old man, because the worst case scenario, he passed away and they become widows and rich. However, at the same time, the three young men are arriving with the three elegant young women, and the old man realizes they are together and start to look at them with anger. The three of them decide to go to a more private place, and when it's time to choose, there are four guys, and the chubby one ends up because left out, because the chubby guys all get the short end of the stick. When the fun just started, the old man show up with the fathers of the young women, and the guys run away. All the young women are taken back home, and they are given a beating for dishonoring the family. The next day, the atmosphere in the city is getting worse because everyone knows about everything that happened, and everyone is looking for the three young men because their parents are furious. Finally, the chubby guy had a stroke of luck, not to mention, in this case, if it would be worth getting into trouble. The three of them are hiding in the city's factory. The old man started getting ready to visit them tenants' house because those who couldn't pay with the money have to pay with the food and the lodging. When he arrived at the one house, he notices that the one of the young women is very comfortable at the home, and now all three are upset because they couldn't live freely. When he arrived at that house of an exceptional young woman, she's cleaning the floor in the special way, if you catch my drift, and he's admiring her beauty. She says Sal serve him because her parents are away, and he asks for a glass of the milk. But when she brings it, he becomes mesmerized and accidentally spills some on her. If you are watching this on the living room TV, I recommend you turn down the volume. Or if you are feeling adventurous, gather the whole family because things start to getting interesting. They begin to talk and the old man says he wouldn't sell their house if she continued to be a good person, and one day they couldn't have more private conversation, and she makes a promise. In the next day, these three women need to wear veils and pray for their sins, and everyone in town is aware of it. The old man not want to miss an opportunity, and he goes to talk to her father and inquires about the payments. He offers a favor, waiving a month rent, but everyone needs to attend the event happening in the town. However, on the day of the event, the old man visits their home and she isn't there, which angers him. He goes after her father and threatens eviction, sparking a big fight. Meanwhile, the young man meets up with the young man because they don't want to miss the chance. Yet again, the parents start searching the town and they rush off to avoid getting in trouble. They do it to fulfill the promise they made and ensure they don't lose her home. Miriam wears a veil to remain incognito and go to the old man's house, but in the moment she unveils herself, he starts feeling something very intense after a long time, and I'm talking about his hate because he collapses on the floor. He must have seen something quite intense, and afterwards everyone celebrates that he had a slight fainting spell. Folks, I'm not sure why I brought up this movie for you, but this was the film Assamina Gule, and I just want to spice off your day. So leave a like and subscribe with the bell notification on because tomorrow is a day of celebration. Now I'm out here.